Hello, everybody. This is Joanna von Krauser here in Garland High School. Today, I'm going to be presenting on Go Formative with Khan Academy. It's a really good, nice set of tools. So here we go. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is Go Formative with Khan Academy, and my name is Joanna von Krauser. One more time, with me, Kathy Miller will be working on the chat, and Jenna Montgomery. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me with this. So my name is Joanna von Krauser again. I am a physics teacher in Garland High School. I have been working here for 7 years. I am an Innovation in Instruction team member. I am also a Google Certified Educator Level 1 and Apple teacher. I'm a technology fan. You can follow me in Twitter at FunkhauserJoe. So how many times have you asked yourself about how to assess your students quicker without killing yourself with grading papers? This is a question that many teachers have asked themselves. And also how to provide feedback quicker so your students are still interested in listening, paying attention, and putting in action all the recommendations that you give. What we are going to do today will help you answer some of these questions. So today I'm going to give you a tour through 2 wonderful tools that will help you do formative assessments easier, saving you time and having results right away. Of course, you will be able to provide feedback to your students. The first one of these formative assessment tools is Khan Academy. So if you know a little bit about Khan Academy, you may know already that this tool is not only for high school. Actually, this tool can be integrated in all grade levels, ranging from kindergarten to college prep in math, all the advanced classes for math. I mean, you can find them there. We are also working on formative, and what is cool about formative is you can see the work of your students right away. Before they can even turn in their assignment, you can see what they are doing as they are doing it. So that's a pretty cool tool, since you are able to give that feedback as they are working, and you don't have to wait until they finish and they turn in the paper and you have the time to see it. So that is a really nice also tool. As you may know, all high schools in Garland ISD have gone 1-to-1 with iPads. So all our students have devices that they can use during class. Still, if your class have available a class set of devices, or if you share a class set of devices, whether they are Chromebooks, iPads, or little laptop computers, you can still access these 2 platforms because they work across all devices. This webinar assigns to the ISTE standards number 1, which is the Empowered Learner. A student is empowered learner when she takes advantage of the technology to take an active role in achieving and demonstrating competency in her learning. So let's get started. Let's play time. So let's go first into Khan Academy. To access Khan Academy, what you have to do is go into khanacademy.org, just like you see it here at the top of the page. And if you are new to Khan Academy, the first thing that you have to do is go here. It says teachers, start here. So you click there. And you don't have to make a new account. You can use your district credentials, so you can continue with Google. It takes just a couple of seconds for you to activate this. So this is very easy to do. So if you are new, you will have to add some of the some classes, and you can do adding the classes manually and put the name and ask your students to enter with an access code. But for me, it is really, really nice that you can import your classes connecting from Google. So in my case, I have everything in Google. My students access Google Classroom all the time. Their assignments are there. So all my students are in that platform already. So all I have to do is pull each one of my classes into Khan Academy. Okay, this takes a couple of seconds. After that, you will add the subject. For example, in my case, I teach physics, and yes, AP Physics. So I like to have those two things. But for everybody else, I mean, there are a lot of subjects that are here. Math by subject grade, and also high school math. You have computer science, art and humanities. I mean, there are many different things that you can use with your students. I also like to use the SAT preparation information in materials, because my students are taking the SAT pretty soon. They are going to college. So once you have your class created, you can go to class, or you can find some content that you can assign to your students. Okay, just a couple of seconds until it loads. If you notice, up here you have all the assignments that you can create. You have the activities that your students have done before, the SAT materials and preparation. You will have your roster with all the students that you have in your class, and the settings. So in the settings, I just want you to check what is there. So if you don't like the name of your class, you can change the name of your class. If at some point you have new students, you can sync your Google Classroom at any time. And of course, if you don't like this class, well, you just have to delete it and say, okay. Perfect. So I have 6 classes. That's where all my students are. Up here under my name, if you click there, you will find the Learning Home. This is not just a tool for your students, it's also for you. If you want to learn something, if you want to brush up on some content, you can go into the Learning Home and study on your own. The Coach Dashboard is this view that you are looking at right now, and you can add your kids. I mean, it's such a versatile tool. That's why I like it so much. Okay, so let's say that I want to assign some of the activities that are right here. So I want to assign it to one of my classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the content that I want to assign. So since I selected physics, I'm going to have in this little button the physics content that I want to assign to my students. But remember, we have many different subjects that you can assign from, and the methodology is going to be pretty much the same. So let's say I want to find some AP Physics 1 content. You can find whatever you feel like you need to practice with your students. The good and nice thing about Khan Academy is that once you start the practice problems or the questions or the videos, some of them have an automatic feedback. So if I assign this as a homework for my students, when they go home, they answer the question, and right away they can see, is it right? Is it wrong? And if it's wrong, it has some feedback and videos that they can watch. Let's say that I want to assign a review for AP Physics because the test is coming next year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the review for 1D motion. So once you are into the video, you can preview it. You can see if it's something you want to do with your students, and then you go to the lesson page. Once in the lesson page, there are many options that you can use. You can assign this content to every single one of your classes or just one. You can make a differentiation by assigning this to all your students or maybe just a couple. You can change the due date, and you can go ahead and assign it. Once you assign it, you can go into the view assignments. Okay, we see it right there. Perfect. So that is one of the things. You don't want to have this assignment anymore. Well, you can always edit it, you can copy it, or you can delete it. Let's say that you have a different class, a different interest for you to for your students to learn, and this is something pretty cool. Let's say that I want to try to work on computer programming. So this week is the hour of code. And with the hour of code, there are a lot of programming interests right now. Let's say that I want my students to do drawing and animation for whatever reason. And I start into intro to programming. Not all the assignments have that option, but some do. And the option is that if you scroll down just a little bit, you will be able to see to assign straight to Google Classroom, or maybe email it, or Twitter, or Facebook. So if you are into contacting and networking with some other people, that's a great tool. Now, something else really cool about Khan Academy. You can look for Khan Academy en Español. So for those ELL students, we have also options. So Khan Academy en Español. Everything that is coming in this side of the this version of Khan Academy will be in Spanish. So maestros, you can start here. Okay, so that is a quick tour into Khan Academy. The second tool that I wanted to check with you is Go Formative. Go Formative is also a really cool tool. And the same way that we work in Khan Academy, we can access with our Google credentials. So start with Google, and you are going to see your main screen. Now, important things about the main screen. Here you can see your classes. You can see the tracker. So what are the activities that you have? In the question mark, you can have a lot of little videos and information about how to get started in the case that you just forgot. Okay. So classes. You can import your classes from Google Classroom. I cannot stop saying this is so good because the integration with Google Classroom is wonderful. If your classes change for whatever reason, you can re-import your students by just clicking one button. Everything, all the changes that you do in Google Classroom will be reflected into Formative. Okay, so now let's start trying to create formatives, because that is one of the things that is important about this. It's all custom based. You can make it however you want to make it. So let's say that we are trying to make a new formative. So here's my new formative. It looks completely empty at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the title, and I will do circular motion. So circular motion. Oh, a little misspelling there. Okay, so circular motion. And then you start adding your content. Let's say you're creating a full lesson. So I will start with some sort of an engaged activity, and my engaged activity will be a file. So I'm choosing a file that I have over here. Is actually a little GIF. And once I have that GIF, maybe I want to create a question. For example, I will create a short answer question. Look all these options. This is so wonderful. You can embed code, you can put an image, you can put some text, you can create a whiteboard, you can add a video. I mean, there are so many options that you can use with Formative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a short answer. So my short answer will say, describe this motion. And my students will be able to add whatever they feel like they want to add in this section. So this is a short answer. Let's say that after that, I want my students to read some text. So I can add the text here. So I have my document open in this point. I have my text that I want them to use. And I just copy and then paste in the type your text. Perfect. I can also add a multiple choice question right away. So let's say, what is centripetal force? And I will put all my answers A, B, C, D, whatever answer you want there. Let's say that after that, you want them to watch a video. So for the video, you have to have a link for YouTube or a link for whatever video. Maybe you recorded a video tutorial about how to solve problems or how to answer a question or about a specific topic. So all I have to do is paste the link and the video is available for them. My next question is going to be about showing your work. So this is the most interesting part. Is the part that I like the most. So what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna add a picture, and in this picture, what I want my students to do is I want them to draw. So it is a picture of a roller coaster, and I want my students to draw what forces are acting on the little roller coaster cart. So I will put my question here. What forces act on the roller coaster car? Good, so that's my question number 3. I want something else. I want to add a material that I already have, but I haven't had the chance to give my students. Maybe an article that you want your students to read. So you can upload any PDF, document, or image to begin with this. So I am going to add this, how roller coasters work. It will take a couple of seconds. It's not okay. We're processing your file. Let's give it just a second, and hopefully it will be okay. There you go. Right there. So here's my article. I want my students to read this article, and I want them to answer questions about what they are reading. So maybe I want to add a question. So I have to click on the little space that I want to add the question for. And maybe I say, what do you like about roller coasters? What do you like about roller coasters? Well, I have 4 questions, and I can keep adding questions about the article, as many as I want. Once I have done my questions and I have just 4, I can preview it. Great. So I can preview it, and this is what the students will be able to see. They will be able to see the space for answering the questions, the space for typing whatever their opinion is about the motion. They can watch the video. They can do all these different things. Now let's go to the side of the students. So I'm going to have my view of the responses, and this is a really, really nice feature. Okay, so here I have 2 windows open. One is my view as a teacher for Go Formative, and on the other side, I'm going to have the student view. That's what I was expecting to have, the student view. Okay, let's see if we can have the student view. I hope it doesn't affect my other side. Okay, great, that works. Oh no. Okay, anyways, what you have to do at this point is log in again. Great. Okay, it's not working. Anyways, what is gonna happen is once you have your activity, you can view the responses. Whatever your students do, you will be able to see. So let me see if I can find another activity that I already have with my students, or that I already was playing with, and you can see how it looks like. So the view of the responses. Everything that your students send as an answer will be in this section. So as your students are answering, you will be able to see the answers. So Georgia Funk is saying C, that is my answer. Now, whenever we get to the show your work, whatever they are doing, you will be able to see in their responses, and you will be able to see it live. So as soon as they mark something on their side, you will be able to see it on your side. So that is a pretty nice thing. That is a pretty awesome feature from Go Formative, because it allows you to see their work as it is happening, and also you are able to provide feedback right away. So I said, great job, you're doing awesome, and they can see that comment right away. Very nice. Okay, so we're almost done with our tour. I was wondering if you have any questions that we can answer. I'm gonna give just a couple of minutes to see if you have any questions. Okay. Well, I don't hear anybody with any questions. So let us know if there is something we can do for you. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you. Don't forget to complete your attendance form to get PD credit, and follow us on Twitter, because you are our best network. So my name is Joanna Funkhauser, and you can find me at Funkhauser Joe. And I have Jenna Montgomery with me, and she is at Jenna Montgomery in Twitter. Here is the link for you to have credit for this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today, and see you next time.